Hello, everyone. Hello. And welcome to another episode of Environmental Justice Now. My name is Leah Jones, and I am the organizing coordinator and water justice organizer here at Virginia Interfaith Power and Light. Before we get started today, as usual, I'd like to do a very brief land acknowledgement. While we are on that video call, and many of us are gathering from different places, it's important that we remind ourselves that we do gather on the unceded land of the indigenous peoples. I'm joining in from so-called Richmond, Virginia, and I am currently located on the land of the Powhatan and Chickahominy peoples. If you are unsure whose land you are on and you would like to learn more and find out, you can always visit native-land.ca to find out. So to start off today, VIPL would like to take a second just to wish you and your families Eid Mubarak to those who observe the holy month. Woo! This weekend marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan for our Muslim brothers and sisters. Today, I am actually going to be sharing a little bit more about the holiday and the beautiful ways people have used their faith and place of worship as a way to take environmental action in their own communities. So Ramadan is considered one of the holiest months of the year for Muslims. During Ramadan, Muslims commemorate the revelation of the Quran and fast from food and drink during the sunlit hours as a means of drawing closer to God and cultivating gratitude and compassion for those less fortunate. Ramadan is a month of spiritual rejuvenation and heightened focus on devotion, during which Muslims spend extra time reading the Quran and performing special prayers. So, those unable to fast, such as pregnant or nursing women, the sick, or elderly people and children, are exempt from fasting. A little bit more about Ramadan. The month traditionally starts and ends based on the sighting of the new moon. This year, starting on March 22nd, well, it started on March 22nd, Muslims throughout the United States and the rest of the world began to search the sky for a new crescent, or will follow a predetermined date based on astronomical calculations. So this year in 2023, the month-long fast of Ramadan did begin around March 23rd or so and ends around today with the celebration of Eid. So our friends over at Green Muslims have actually created a really awesome quick graphic that I just took a small screenshot of that shows a little snippet about briefly what our Ramadan is about. So during Ramadan, Muslims abstain from worldly pleasures, including food from dawn to dusk, and focus more on prayer to become closer to God, reflecting on our actions and evaluating whether or not they meet the standards of pleasing God. And that's just a small snippet of a graphic that was made by an organization called Green Muslims that I will talk about in just a little bit. But it gives us just a basic breakdown of what to know about Ramadan, what it is, what the holiday encompasses. So yeah, thank you for that, Green Muslims. A little bit more about Ramadan. It's actually a time to once again take inventory of the last 365 days of your life, the year, while making the intention to create better habits for the coming year. And fasting during the month of Ramadan can really be a real exercise in self-control. And as I mentioned earlier, just a serious time for personal reflection. So if you are intentional, fasting can really help you even gain a stronger connection with your own faith. So the Islamic faith clearly calls within its traditions and practices for action to protect the environment and work against climate change. The Holy Quran recognizes that Allah established the natural world in a life-sustaining balance, which we must both respect and protect. And this scripture that we actually use within our VRPL's Ramadan creation care calendar this year, it reads, "It is Allah who created the heavens and earth, who has sent down water from the sky, and with it brought forth produce to nourish you. That's from the Quran, 1432. Once again, this scripture has underlined this idea that all of earth and all of our environment are of Allah and they are holy. So the Quran also recognizes that people are also responsible for all forms of human wrongdoings. That includes wrongdoings that affects land, the sea, and air. And as people of faith, it's really important to integrate these values into our society and daily lives as best as we can. So it's actually very cool learning about all of the different ways that so many Muslim communities around the world are actually and have been doing for years, being committed to making their homes and places of worship more sustainable, especially with renewables. Actually, the AP News recently reported just this past Sunday about the Grand Istiqlal Mosque in Jakarta, Indonesia. They say that the mosque was built with a vision to, first of all, withstand thousands of years. And what's really cool about this mosque is that they say back in 2019, there was a major renovation that installed upwards of 500 solar panels on the mosque's expansive roof, which is now a major and clean source of the community's electricity. And this Ramadan, the mosque has actually encouraged an energy walk. Pronunciation I already apologize for, which this is a type of donation in Islam that continues to bear fruit over time to grow its capacity to make renewable power. So what this mosque is doing, they're hoping that in this holiest month or throughout this holiest month of Ramadan, when many people of the Muslim faith are flocking to mosques in great numbers, can actually help continue to provide momentum for the project, the solar installation through donations. So I just thought this was a really beautiful example of community coming together and standing up, recreating, making the changes that are necessary to protect our earth in a real way, in a tangible way. So major props to them. And so it's cool to see so many examples like that. And even more locally, we see a ton of folks and our neighbors from an organization called Green Muslims, an organization in Fairfax, Virginia, who have been doing a ton of this work as well, specifically in hosting educational programming and materials for Muslim communities all throughout the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And they really, if you check out their site, they put together tons of awesome resources that really highlight these connections that exist between Islam and caring for our environment. So actually this year they did release an entire toolkit for the entire month of Ramadan. So we just want to take a minute to uplift them during this time, this season, this holiday, to, check out their programming, check out their website and their resources, which you can do at www.greenmuslims.org. So please be sure to check them out. If you are able to, we'll be sure to include their link to their website so you can check out their resources in the comments. And before signing off today, there is one last tidbit that I did want to mention for anyone watching who may not receive our e-news. Our chair, VIPL's board chair, Aliyah Farouk, has actually shared a just beautiful reflection on completing Umrah, the non-mandatory pilgrimage made by Muslims to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And if you were able to check out our e-news this week, we were able to feature just a piece of that reflection this week. But if you would like to check out the full reflection, you can check it out once again by heading to the comments. We'll be sure to post that link there. Here it is on the screen. And once again, you can check out the full reflection by clicking the link in the comments. So now I just, before signing off, another big announcement. It is Eid today, but also tomorrow is officially Earth Day. It is Earth Week. We have been talking about all the ongoing things that we've been up to the past few weeks related to the holiday, related to Faith Climate Action Week. But tomorrow is Earth Day, and in case you would like to celebrate with VIPL, we hope you do. We are hosting an East African coffee ceremony. If you haven't heard already, we'll be celebrating Earth Day with connecting coffee, community, and nature. Um, our uh, our communications. Many of you already know our communications and campaigns manager, Kadesh, will be hosting this coffee ceremony. We're starting at 10 a.m. in the Shaco Square on 17th Street, the 17th Street Market Square. Please check us out if you are available in the morning. It'd be a perfect start to the day, and you can come have community with us, talk about and reflect on community, nature, belonging, and environmental justice, both locally and globally. So please be sure to check that out. If you are able to kick off your Earth Day, we are looking forward to seeing you there. Again, Eid Mubarak to all of those who celebrate. And everyone have a beautiful Friday. We hope to see you tomorrow at the coffee ceremony. And as usual, if you would like to keep up with VIPL, all the things that we're up to, you can always check out our link to join our supporters list, where you can stay up to date with all things VIPL. And we will see you all next week, same time, same place. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend.